All right. Evaluate the following limits. Again, the first one seems pretty straightforward. There's no issues. So just sub in 4. If I sub in 4, the answer is just going to give me 0. This one here, I would like to sub in 5, and I will quickly try to sub in 5. So 2, 5 squared minus 9, 5, take away 5. That becomes 25. 25 times 2 is 50. 50 take away 5 is 45. Take away 45 is 0. So we realize there's a problem. When that happens, we have to factorize the denominator, which we know is going to be at least x minus 5. And I'm going to cheat a little bit here because I know what to do. That should be right. Let me just double check it. Minus 10 plus 1 is minus 9. Yep. Once you factorize the denominator, these two will cancel out. You are left with the limit. X approaches to 5, 1 on the top. This is in the denominator. And your answer is 2 times 5 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. 1 over 11. Are we getting better at this now after 2 or 3 weeks of doing this? 3 marks. Any questions? No, all made sense. Okay, let's go again. Applications of growth and decay. Exponentials, here we go. The number of frogs, n, in a park at time t weeks is given by the formula n equals n naught e 0.3466t, where n naught and k are constants. K would have been this term for those who remember this. Initially, there were 100 frogs in the park. What does that mean? So what does initially mean, and what letter is 100 frogs? So what is initially, and what's 100 frogs? What letter?
N is 100 frogs.
N is 100 frogs, I agree. And initially?
Before.
No. You haven't got used to that yet? What did you say?
At the start.
At the start, yeah. So what letter? Look at it properly.
T.
Because T represents what?
Time.
Time. And then at the start, initially
time
equals?
0.
Always. You gotta memorize that. Initially, time equals 0 at the start. I like that. I like how you work through that. You didn't tell yourself again, oh, I don't get it, I don't know, oh, I forgot. You worked through it. You said, oh, at the start. Initially means like at the start of something. Time, T, and then eventually you'll just work it out. Why does that all make sense? Well, you're trying to find n naught. If you're trying to find this letter here, you got to get rid of n, which is 100. You got to get rid of t, which is 0. So it'll look like this now. 100 equals n naught e 0.3466 times 0. E to the power of 0 is obviously 1. And then you get n naught is just 100. So your new equation, if you want to know, you're done for that one, but just so you guys know, the new equation looks like this: 100 e 0.3466 t. Any questions there? How many frogs were in the park after 10 weeks? Answer correct to 2 significant figures. 2 significant figures. Time is in weeks. So 10 weeks, I'm just going to sub in 10, aren't I? That was easy. 100. So you're not really getting marks because of the substitution. You're getting marks because of the 2 sig figs. So that is what you've got to be careful of. So I'm going to plug this into my calculator. You should all do that as well to make sure you still remember how to do it. I get 3200.845, blah, blah, blah. 2 sig figs means the first 2 numbers. Because that's a 0, the answer is 3200. Now, if you want to remember this, whole numbers ending in zeros are not significant, so you have to put the zeros. Some students say, oh, but isn't it just 32? And my only response to that is, if you bought a car and it was 3,200, and I said, hey, you can pay me in 2 sig figs, does that mean you're going to pay $32? So just keep that in mind. Your basic place values need to still remain the same. Okay, any questions? Find the rate of increase in the number of frogs at 10 weeks. Okay, Eden, what does rate mean again? What we were just looking
Time.
at. Not exactly. What you were just saying. The stuff that we were talking about before we started this exam paper.
Gradient.
Yeah, rate is just a gradient, which is a slope, which is y dash, calculus, which is dy dx, whatever, and so on and so on and so on. Speed is a rate. You know what I mean? A change in distance with respect to time. So find the rate of increase in the number of frogs at 10 weeks. What you'll do is differentiate this, but I just realized we haven't done derivatives of exponentials. That's a component I was going to do next term, but that's okay. We haven't done rates. We're going to do it next term. If that's okay, we can just touch on it today and see how simple it is. So we haven't done derivatives of exponentials, but watch how simple they are. If I have to differentiate this, so dn on dt, we don't really use n dash. We only use dashes for y's and f of x's. We don't really use them for other letters, so we write them the long way. And to differentiate an exponential, it actually is itself. So that's pretty easy to remember, isn't it? The derivative of an exponential is itself. All you have to do is you have to multiply it by the derivative of the power. So the derivative of the power is what? What is the derivative of the power? Who wants to give that a shot? Differentiate the power. What does it become? Lysandra, you want to give it a shot? What's the derivative of this power?
It would be 0.3466.
That's it. Because you've got a t, you're going to decrease it by 1, so it just becomes 0.3466. That's it. That's how we differentiate. And then to answer the question, at 10 weeks, all you're going to sub in is time is 10. And that would give you the rate. So this right here is called rate. So yeah, like I said, but that's next term. So since we're here, we'll just finish it off. All right. You don't need to worry about that too much. You can see how simple that is. Yep, that's also next term. Again, very easy, I promise you. A particle is moving, the displacement is this. Displacement being like distance. You got to find its initial. What does initial mean again, Eden?
The beginning.
Yep, so what are you, now you're going to not say that anymore, you're going to say time equals?
Zero.
0, that's what you're going to say. So initial means time is 0. So to find the initial displacement, I'm just going to teach you guys, so you're just going to sub in t equals 0. So the initial displacement is what, Eden?
11.
That's it, simple, done. You got yourself 1 mark. And then we're going to learn how to find velocity and acceleration. But velocity is a change in displacement. So velocity is actually x, like dx on dt. So you're going to differentiate this and that. And then acceleration is the derivative of velocity, because acceleration is a change in speed. And that becomes that. And then all you've got to do, because it says initial, you'll sub in time is 0. So initially, your velocity is -12. Initially, your acceleration is 0. So easiest 3 marks, but that's next term. But does that look confusing?
A little bit.
Really? Okay. What about to you, Tiana? What do you reckon? Confusing?
No, it's okay.
You understand what I've done with velocity and acceleration there?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just differentiating. All right, fair enough. But yeah, anyways, next term. We don't have to worry about it right now. This one, you do have to worry about. Question 31. For what values of d does this equation have no real roots? What do we do? I'm not going to say nothing. You guys got to work it out. No real roots. Tell me. What would I write? What's the first thing I write?
Uh,
Time is ticking. 15 seconds. 20 seconds. You didn't have this time in an exam. You'll just quickly
has
write.
to be less than 0.
Yes, something has to be less than 0. What has to be less than 0?
The discriminant.
Done. Why did it take you 30 seconds? Yeah?
Because
that's
I knew it had to be less than 0, but I wasn't sure which part it was called.
Oh, you could have said the triangle thing. I'll accept anything. As long as I know what you're talking about, I'll accept it. So that's okay. So, or you could have even said b squared minus 4ac less than 0. For it to have no real roots, yeah, the discriminant must be less than 0, which means this, and then you just start solving. D take away 6 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1 times c, less than 0. The way we have been solving our inequalities, if you guys remember this, is we make it equal to 0. I wouldn't expand. The only reason why I don't expand is because I can see I can plus the 4 over and then square root. And this usually happens with like difference of 2 square questions. You can see that. But anyways, if you did expand, it would have worked out as well. So don't stress. Plus minus 2. So d minus 6 equals 2. D minus 6 equals negative 2. D equals 8. D equals minus 2 plus 6, which is 4. Then we test it on a number line. There is 4. There is 8. They are less than, not equal to, so open circle. Open circle. Test any letter you like. I'm going to test D equals 0. So out here, if I subbed in 0 into the original question, I would get 0, take away 6, which is negative 6. 6 squared is 36. Minus 4 is 36, take away 4, less than 0. Now I would have said, nah, it's not. So that doesn't work, that doesn't work. I now know the answer. The answer is 4 less than D less than 8. So as long as D is between 4 and 8, this expression will have no real roots. I think you guys know by now, this will be in your exam. So whether you like it or not, instead of, again, Eden, I'm going to just pick on you a little bit, how you said, I need to know the theory of calculus or whatever. You don't need to know that as much as you need to know this question, because 100% this will be in your exam. So I hope you're starting to realize what will be in your test and what pretty much isn't. Anyways, all good? Anything you guys want me to
Sam,
talk?
what about
Yeah.
what about A and B level questions?
Say that again.
What about A and B level questions?
This is a full exam paper, isn't it?
Okay.
So what do you mean? It's not really the way you think. See, back in year 9 and year 10, there was A level, B level questions, right? That's because it wasn't year 11 and year 12. In year 11 and year 12, it doesn't really work like that. You've got prelim papers now. So you've got a full exam paper that covers, let's say, 7 or 8 topics. In year 12, you're going to have a full trial HSC, which covers all of year 11 and all of year 12. So it doesn't really work like the way it does from year 7 to year 10, where there are A, B, C level graded questions. It's a full exam paper. You don't know what is A level, what is B level. You just have to keep practicing. And you don't stop practicing.
Okay. Yeah.
That's it. So, yeah. Like technically, you would say this is a B level question. This one here. Just so you know. Because a lot of students don't know the discriminant is less than zero concept. They don't understand that very well. So that's a B level. But I mean, if an extension one student looked at that, they're like, oh, what? So easy. Thank you. So, yeah. All good. 2 to the power of 2x minus 1 equals 32. And since you said that, you know what, I'll even show you. I'll show you how your exam papers will look like, if I can. 2020, Year 11 Advanced Exams. No. Yeah, that's task 1. See what I mean? There's no A level. It's just do it. There's no B level. These are the questions. So it doesn't really work like that, but that's task 1. Let me see if I can get you, 2016 preliminary. Here it is. Here's another one. So there, you just start. You get what I mean? There's no, oh yeah, this is an A level or a B level. You're just doing questions. Does that make sense? So you got to know everything. Like you got to know that right there is a circle. But there's no more region in your test. But you got to, I don't know. You got to know your trigs. You got to know how to do Sokotoa. I think you get the idea of what I'm trying to make you understand. You can't say, just because this is question 14, calculating the distance between A and B is hard. Or finding the gradient is hard. Or finding the equation of a line is hard. So it doesn't really work like that. Finding intercepts or the x-axis for the parabola. Find the coordinates of the vertex. Draw a neat sketch. Is this function odd, even, or neither? Geometry, not in your test anymore. Geometry, not in your exams anymore. So that's it. So they're going to test a bit of everything. There isn't really A level or B level or C. I mean, there are obviously naturally more harder questions and more easier questions. But if you really know your stuff, nothing will be hard for you because you've practiced so much. You know what to do. Like this question here. I look at it, I know what to do straight away. Do you look at it and know what to do straight away? So?
Convert it to same base.
Cool. See, like that. So that's how all the topics go to be. And then you'll just go, since the bases are the same,